I never thought I would reach a point where even waking up felt heavy. There were days when I opened my eyes, and before my feet touched the floor, a quiet voice whispered inside me, "I don't want to do this anymore." Not because I didn't care, but because I felt drained, tired of fighting battles no one else could see. People around me thought I was okay. I kept smiling, kept saying, "I'm fine." But deep inside, I was carrying a weight that was slowly breaking me. Every plan I made fell apart. Every hope I had seemed delayed, and every prayer I whispered felt like it disappeared into silence. One night, when everything hit me at once, I sat alone in my room and said softly, "God, I don't know how much longer I can keep doing this." There was no lightning, no miracle, no sudden change, just quiet. A silence that made me feel even smaller, even more alone. But then, in that silence, something unexpected happened. Not outside me, inside me. A small thought, gentle and warm, like someone lifting my chin and saying, "Don't give up now, I'm working, even when you can't see it." And the more I walked through this journey, the more I realized that God had been carrying me long before I ever recognized His presence. There were days when I had absolutely nothing left inside me, no motivation, no clarity, no energy to pretend I was okay. Yet somehow, I still made it through, even when I didn't understand it. Those were the moments when God Himself was holding me up, giving me just enough strength to take the next breath, the next step, the next small act of faith that kept me from completely falling apart. It wasn't my strength that kept me standing. It was His grace working quietly in the background of my life. As time passed, something incredible started happening inside me. The things that once felt impossible to face slowly began losing their power over me. I started noticing small changes, subtle shifts in the way my heart responded to pain, and tiny sparks of courage I didn't know I still had. A growing sense of peace seemed to settle over me like a blanket. It didn't mean the storm disappeared. It just meant that I wasn't walking through it alone. God was transforming me gently, guiding me away from fear and closer to a version of myself that was stronger, wiser, and more grounded than ever before. There were still days that tested me deeply. Days where I felt like I had taken one step forward, only to fall 2 steps backward. But even in those moments, something inside me refused to let go. It was as if God whispered, "I know you're tired, but I'm not done with you yet." That quiet whisper became the anchor I held onto when everything else felt uncertain. I realized that God wasn't asking me to be perfect. He was simply asking me not to quit, to just hold on a little longer. Breakthrough often comes right after the moment we almost give up. And slowly, the story I once wanted to escape began turning into a story of survival, a story of growth, and a story of God's faithfulness in the middle of my weakest moments. I began to understand that nothing I walked through was wasted, not the tears, not the sleepless nights, not the fears I carried in silence. Every part of my journey was shaping me into someone who could stand stronger, love deeper, and trust God in ways I never could have imagined. And the more I saw this transformation, the more I realized that God had been preparing me for something bigger all along, something that required the strength I was now learning to build.